Welcome back, Alpha Hunters. We had a pretty nice gap down today on the SPY and just generally the market in general. And we've seen some stocks come out and absolutely get bought up very aggressively. One of them was CLF. Take a look at that one here later. But, just taking a look here at the SPY. Yeah, I mean, we saw some buying come in about 30 minutes or so after the market opened. The market just went buying straight up. Hasn't really gone anywhere, outside of about an hour of buying or so. We kind of just been in that range, generally just in this area. Did try to have a little breakout higher here about an hour ago and come back down or so. But, market's fluctuating, market's doing what they do. But buy the dip mentality. Obviously, we've seen that in full force, really, over the past, week and a half, like even longer. People have been buying the dip, in this uptrend that we've been in this year. And if you really need to take a look back and just eyeball test this move that we've been in, this range that we have been in for nearly the entire month of February. February started right here. We had really one extremely bullish day. That was February 1st, right? That was FOMC. It got us above and it got us into this range that we've kind of been in. We topped out at 417, 418 area. We kind of came down briefly here on last Friday around on Feb 10 down to about the 406 area. But we spent a lot of time in between that, even on a tighter range like a 408 to really 414. We spent a lot of time in there, and I still have up here those December, September highs, as well as the Friday, January 27th highs, as well. A lot of that's there for a reason, and I don't know what this. I don't know what that line's there for. I don't know where that line came from. Oh, you know what? I think I know what it came from. It was. I think I marked. I think I put this line here for yesterday's bottom because I was thinking if we rolled back below that, we might see some selling. All right. Anyways, I was trying to figure out why I had an extra line on there. Seba, what's going on? Good day, mate. Appreciate the maintenance. Yeah. I mean, it is a pretty good day. I closed out of some work day. Wasn't really working out. It might have been actually working out after I closed out of it. Yeah, I pretty much closed out as we started to roll over here. I think I got out like right there. Yeah, not really seeing a lot of opportunities still. I mean, just a lot of choppiness. Still seeing rotation. Just still seeing very strong rotation. CLF. Take a look at this one. This thing on that earnings gap down, I was really kind of surprised it got bought up as strongly as it did. I should have just took those profits. It's okay. I think this thing's going to set up pretty good here because I think we're about to set up a nice little head and shoulders pattern. We got a shoulder, neckline, head, neckline. Probably about to set up another shoulder. It'll probably be lower than that left shoulder area, but it looks like we're probably about to hit up into there. Might not be a bad opportunity. Probably take it at least bearish, maybe possibly back down here. But if it breaks this neckline area, basically like 19 to yeah 20, 19 to 20, it gets back below 19 really. This thing's gonna be primed to move back down to at least like the 16 point area or so, below 17. So yeah, I'm gonna possibly keep my eye on that if I can. I don't typically watch a lot of individual stocks, especially like industrials all that much. But yeah, that's just kind of what I'm thinking on there on CLF. I was really kind of surprised it got bought up as much as it did after post earnings. It's up 2% today. So Meta, yeah, Meta gap down today. Hasn't really got bought up all that strong. It has got bought up, just not as strong as the market tech stocks generally. MRK, just kind of running through this. MRK, nice little nice little retest higher. Got right above the beginning 15 minute. Kind of hung out there for roughly an hour. Didn't hold. Possibly rolls back over here for the rest of the day. As you get some of these moving averages come back down. Target. I think I'm bull. I think was it bull calls. Yeah, bull call vertical for Target next Friday. Still looks pretty good. Looks like the moving averages, 10 exponential moving average, looks like at least going to push it up. AAPL still just pushing higher. Buy the dip, man. Buy the dip mentality is out there. It's for real. It is such a dangerous mentality to kind of be in, for the simple fact that if you spot the trend, let me kind of clean this. I don't want to clean that up. Dang it. Let me just go to an hourly. We're still making lower highs here, kind of coming down. Well, let's see. What would you say? Caught the NQs at the bottom this morning on a nice rebound. Nice. The market is Teflon. Dude, it is crazy how buy the dip is just working out. But we still have this downtrend high at least playing out. Now, you could also say, I'm going to say clone this. I'm going to move it down. You'd also say we kind of have a channel possibly setting up. I mean, we've kind of been at the upper ends of the channel. We'll see what happens here if we break down. I would love to see this. I would love to see it come back down at least into this below the low that we put in last Thursday. I would love to see that. I would love to see that. I know a lot of people a lot of people are really watching that low right here. They probably are looking at that as if we break this low, that possibly we're going to break down. But I think that would be a pretty good spot to probably be bullish in my eyes. I really do. I was wanting to kind of come down below 404. Really all on this pullback, I was really wanting it, but I'm not going to play it. I'm not going to play it bullish right now. If we come back down to below 404, below 405 or so, basically below 405, which is the low of last Friday. If we do that, I would be looking to be bullish up into the 420 area. Then, even if we get to 420 or 420 plus, somewhere up in here, I'm going to start looking to be bearish again. I am going to start to be looking to be bearish. A lot of people, there's a lot of talk, right? There's a lot of talk about buy the dip, FOMO, going on, and it's really been going on, the past 2 weeks, now, and we haven't gone anywhere. There's a lot of I'd say momentum being used up, buying capital being used up in here, and not to say that there's not stocks being bullish, stocks being bearish. Not to say that there's not bullish stuff out there, but the market's not going anywhere. If the market, this is the number one thing you should look at if you think new money's coming into the market. Just look at the stock market. Like, if the stock market's not going anywhere, there's not new money coming in. If the market's going down, then obviously money's coming out. If the market's going up, obviously money's going in, right? So it just says, we've gapped down now 3 days in a row. 3 days in a row, if you can't really see that. We've had quite a bit of gap downs. We gapped down basically, let's see, February the 2nd to the 3rd, we had a pretty good gap down. We gapped down then that Monday. We even gapped down then that Tuesday on the 7th. These are all been bought up. This has all been bought up in a downtrend channel that we've been in. Then even the next day, Wednesday the 8th, we gapped down. We actually did have one gap up here last Thursday, but that one gap up day, we actually sold off really pretty strong, and then we gapped down then Friday, which was bought up. We actually did have a little bit of a gap up earlier this week on Monday. But Tuesday we gapped down. Wednesday we gapped down. Thursday, today, we gapped down. So a lot of them have gapped down, but we haven't been making new highs. We've just kind of been trading in this channel. So It's one of those things, man. It's once that mentality stops, or the buying capital behind that mentality stops, you see downsides really fast. Tesla announced a recall this afternoon. It shrugged it off. Wow, Tesla recall. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's just kind of it's just the mindset. It's just the mindset of the market right now. Like it's just bullish. People think that everything's like 2021 again for whatever reason. It doesn't matter. That's why I think last Friday, and I can almost even say this Friday before, even though I didn't change kind of my thumbnail market outlook. That's why I kind of moved market neutral. I know I tweeted it out like 2 Mondays ago, but it's just look for the short term trading opportunities, and really on the SPY, that's really all you've gotten is short term trading opportunities. You kind of got it there on the Qs. Qs will look a little bit stronger, right? Because if you put in a downtrending, obviously we kind of broke above it. We kind of gapped down, retested on yesterday's kind of breakout of these downtrending highs. Kind of gapped down right on top of that possible area, and then just kind of got bought up today. But this is where you've seen a lot more of the strength side of things in the market is on the Qs, the tech stuff. So like Apple, Apple's been really strong during this time period. Really all year they've been really strong, and I'm gonna be curious to see what happens if they break this high that we put in back on February 3rd before the market possibly retests. Like before the SPY gets below 404 on a possible pullback, a little bit more of a deeper retest here. It's going to be interesting to see which one kind of happens first. Because if Apple does get above that high from February 3rd, we could definitely see this push the market higher, and then maybe push the SPY up into the 420s or so. Yep. But yeah, a lot kind of moving, and you just look here at the heat map. There's not much. I mean, there's red and there's some green, but there's not a lot moving too much. Cisco, we'll take a look at Cisco. This one obviously moved a lot. Whoa, electronic technology sector actually overtook the technology services for market cap. All right, or at least that's how it's displayed here on this heat map. So CSCO. So Costco beat bottom line, top line pretty good. I wonder if I can get a forecast. Raises, yep. Cisco raises fiscal year 2023 outlook after better than expected second quarter earnings. Okay, yeah, so there you go. Cisco raising full year guidance. Very nice. Microsoft, yeah, it's been pretty strong previous to this week, so it makes sense it's going to have a little bit more of some pullbacks. It's been a little bit more on the weaker side of things this week. Alphabet, kind of tempted here. Kind of tempted. I might. I'm not gonna lie. I'm really tempted here to go bearish. What's going on tonight? How are you doing, sir? Um. I'm really kind of tempted. Um, I'm gonna look at this for tomorrow. I'm gonna look at Google for tomorrow. I'm gonna keep it probably a smaller position because it is tomorrow. Doggo doing well. Just checking out the marketing, the marking. You're neutral. Gotcha. Let me bring over. Explain why I'm bearish on Google. This is a great question. This is a fantastic question. Um, a big reason has a lot to do with not anything other than this. there is a big reason why this was a big deal. This is a lot of people saying Google was no longer the front runner in search, right? This in this time period was Chat GPT, Bing, a lot of that stuff making noise over the last 2 weeks, right? Or last week. So now that it got below all of these moving averages, and I fully understand buying the dip here, because it's going to take a lot to kind of dethrone Alphabet in that area, and but they own so much of that market share that going from 90% to 75% is a huge cut in their profitability because they are search. It's not that they are the top dog, they are search. That's how much market share that they have in that space. So now that ChatGPT, Bing is making a lot more headways, and it might not even be a thing, in 3 to 5 months, but the fact that it's perceived or it's being perceived that they're actually going to have competition now, yeah, it just kind of makes me kind of say, yeah, they might have a little bit more of a bearish side to it. And I'm, this, and to really kind of dethrone, Google, the search engine, it's going to take a lot more than just headlines. But right now, the headlines are not about Google. They're not about Google. And really this day right here was when they introduced their chat GPT competitor Bard, and it made a hiccup. It made a mistake on returning the search query kind of thing, or basically someone asked it a question, it came back with like an incorrect answer or something like that. It was something kind of simple, but this was that day. So I get it. The technology is kind of new, but perceived mentality is a very real thing in the marketplace. If you are perceived to be slacking a little bit, it will show up in equity prices. Anyways, I'm not hugely bearish on Alphabet though. Get that clear. I'm not like they're not going out of business. I'm not trying to say that. I'm just saying like I could see an opportunity, and then I could really kind of see us tomorrow. I mean, we've had green candles every day this week, and we haven't done anything. We haven't gone anywhere. And I guess we can have one more, but I mean, we've just seen buying every day this week, and it's like, what if we just get one red candle that comes in on Friday? I'm not saying we're going to gap down or anything, but if we just maybe even gap up and then just trade lower, kind of maybe like last Thursday, just gap up a little bit and just trade lower. I'd just be curious to see what that kind of does to Alphabet here, being under all of these moving averages, being under all the moving averages. So that's just kind of what I'm thinking. I'm not bearish on them for the whole year. It's just more of a trade, more of an idea for like tomorrow, and it might not work out. It might be better to go out like a week, go out to like next Friday would be the 24th. Yeah, it'd be the 24th. But if you're the winner and and there starts to be a perception that you're going to get dethroned, it kind of does spill over to the stock prices. That's why you saw them gonna get hit pretty good last week. But I'm gonna keep this really tight. This isn't. I mean, you'll see. Like, it's not gonna be like, I'm not trying to hit home runs here on these verticals. I uh I try to keep them real tight. I don't try to go way out there on on reward to risk. They're not crazy, but I could see this thing moving pretty good tomorrow. And if this thing could get under 95 for possibly a 3-to-1 reward to risk, yeah, I mean, I dig it. So, I mean, 95. And it traded basically 95 is at the low of today. I mean, it could sell off today and kind of get back down into that area, right? So 95 is roughly there. Tell you what, 95. If I can hit the freaking button. There we go. But I mean, that's where you're looking for it to get to, and it could very easily just sell off a little bit. Not saying to get down to 95 today, but if it can get down to like below these lows here, 96, it would set up really nice for tomorrow. I also get the idea, and I did mention this on the Market Outlook video this past weekend. Google's going to be a great opportunity for trading right now, just because they do have so much market share that if it doesn't get taken away, but the perception is it might, there will be an opportunity to potentially buy the dip. And I get that. That is going to be a great opportunity if that winds up playing out. All right, so I'm going to do this 96 by 95, mostly because I want to keep it pretty close, pretty tight to where the stock price currently is. This is a pretty good reward to risk. You know, I'm going to buy into this for 25 cents, possibly possibly get $1 out of it. A lot of this is just kind of contingent on if buy the dippers don't show up tomorrow. What if we sell the rippers tomorrow? I mean, that's possible. So that's kind of just what I'm going to look to do. Sell the rippers. The grim rippers. Let me see. Yeah. So went ahead, did that. I did get filled at 25 cents. I think the market was probably 24, but I did a little bit more volume than at that particular time than what the market kind of had. So I got to go a little bit higher. Anyways, a lot of people out there trading some of these Google options for tomorrow. Bring this back over. I didn't really kind of even notice that. There's a lot of open interest here on the call side. There's not really that much interest here in the put side. That's what's kind of funny. A lot of people trying to buy the dip here on Alphabet for tomorrow. Just kind of funny. Let me add this to the list. Yeah, I'm not saying that, Alphabet's going to zero by any means. They still own too much market share. And they're not a dumb company. They're not dumb. They'll figure out some stuff. A dumb company's Meta. Dumb company's Meta. I don't even know what the heck they were thinking with the metaverse thing. Sometimes being too smart is not good. All right. Alphabet, man, that thing's just on another animal. Amazon, what is Amazon doing? Amazon's kind of hanging out. It's not really doing a whole lot. Okay. All right. What else? Is there any other major brightly colored industrial services? RSG? No. Processing, ALB. Let me check ALB. I haven't seen ALB in a long time. It looks pretty good. They had earnings. They beat on bottom line earnings. Man, they matched top line. Jeez, you don't see that often. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I believe Albemarle. I believe they make, if I remember correctly, the battery material, lithium. I believe they're a lithium maker, if I remember correctly. A miner or processor or something like that. Is that MOS? Mosaic Fertilizer, Agriculture. Yeah. If you cannot be like Bill Gates and buy up billions of dollars worth of farmland, next best thing is go buy fertilizer stocks. Next best thing is go buy fertilizer stocks. This is not a bad area to be in. Yeah, they had a really good run up when the market was topping out last year. They do have earnings here coming up next Wednesday. Just be mindful of that. And then a dividend on the 1st of March. So, okay. Tesla. I know we did look at Tesla briefly. Give me a second. Yeah. So we did briefly look at Tesla. CB said they had issued a recall. MW Tesla recalls more than 300,000 EVs. Says self-driving software may cause crashes. It's so funny they're doing that after the that Super Bowl ad. It came out and kind of said basically just it doesn't work. That's basically what the ad said. Like it does it. It's so hard to say something doesn't work. Like it works, but it's not as good as what you would think for full self driving. Um, yeah, yeah, and that's kind of how they advertise as full self driving. But dude, I saw an article saying they have done successful test flights on AA powered jet fighters. Saw that. I saw that. I think they did it with an F-16. It flew for 17 hours. 17. That ad was out of nowhere. It caught most people off guard. Yeah. Yeah. So what's funny about that ad, though, is that guy that really sponsored that ad, he's been kind of talking about this. Yeah, that the full self-driving stuff from Tesla has not been not to say it's not it doesn't work as they advertise it, right? As Tesla advertises it, it doesn't work that well. And so it is one of those things that you know to say it can't drive down the highway on long road trips and you could probably just put your head back against the headrest and kind of nonchalant drive down the road. Probably can do a lot of that, but what they were kind of showing off with like obstacles on like windy roads. Yeah, man, it was that video, and we've seen other videos. There has been other videos, but never one that prolific that was advertised during the Super Bowl. That one was obviously front and center, but we've seen some of those videos come out before. They've been put out by Car and Driver, a lot of other car manufacturing not manufacturing, but magazines and what am I thinking? Journalistic type sources have put out stuff like that, and they've looked at that. It's just so hard to say. I just don't think we're there yet with computing power that we can make high like computing power as fast as it probably needs to be able to process road conditions and drive a car. I think we need to continue to see improved computing power. My opinion. It's just my opinion. That's why I'm so huge on semiconductors. I love $8 billion for a 30-second spot. Man, that is. Hope it makes it worth it on shorting that stock because that's how he's going to get his money back. That's how he's going to get his money back. He's probably shorting the hell of that stock. He probably has been, actually. That guy's probably been bearish on that stock for a while. Or probably trying to bet against it for a while. All right, what else? Let's check the dollar. VIX. I saw the VIX was up earlier. Yeah, huge upper wick coming in there. Well, VIX actually Open higher is traded lower. See, and that's the thing is you're not for all this FOMO that you hear about, all this buy the dip. You're not getting the VIX to actually collapse here, and it hasn't done it. Like it hasn't gotten below, the Jan 13th lows, except for like one day. The Feb second morning, where it just traded lower a little bit and came back up. I mean, we've been down at these levels now several times. I would like to see us kind of come down below 18, very cordial like, very subtle, very smooth, and not volatile, and just kind of hang out down here and then start to move higher. I would love to see that, but until we see that, mostly because that pattern we saw that kind of shape out over some massive rollovers in the market back in 2001 and 2008. So if we do see that pattern kind of shape up, yeah, I'll be loving life. Not really loving life, but I'll definitely be planning for the apocalypse at that point. I'll be getting my water bottles stocked up. Man, I got something stuck in my throat. Dollar after a nice little move higher yesterday. It did make a higher high today, but it's mostly just flat, just kind of hanging out. Nice little doji action. I'm gonna say this thing's probably gonna push higher if it doesn't roll over tomorrow. If this thing doesn't roll over tomorrow, it'll probably just continue to go sideways tomorrow, and then look for it to continue to get pushed higher next week. Rates are continuing to get pushed higher, and that's another reason. Rates are continuing to get pushed up. Let me check this out. So we had this breakdown of the low on the 10 2-year yield inversion. Tuesday, gap down below it, and then Wednesday we got right back above that low, and we're continuing back higher. I do think we probably saw the bottom this week on the 10 and 2-year inversion yield. So I don't know really what that's going to mean for the stock market, but typically when the inversion yields start to move back to the zero line and back to the positive and not negative on the inversion, that's typically when you see the biggest sell-offs in the stock market. So still a long ways away. Still just might get in here and chop around for a bit. But I will be definitely keeping my eye on that. If this thing starts to really move higher, it's going to be a little sketchy for the stock market. GLD, still gonna be pulling back. Not a big deal. HYG, high yield corporate bonds, and that's the thing, man. These bonds just keep getting crushed. Just continuing to make lows. And look at this LQD HYG. HYG is a little bit farther away from the low it put in late December, but the LQD, the high grade stuff, the really good safe and secure bonds, man, they're getting kind of close, getting back down to these late December lows. And I mean, the SPY's nowhere close. Nowhere close. I mean, we might have just. I mean, all this could just be a huge air pocket. You get 3-4 trading days, and you get back down to 390. You get back down to 390 in a hurry, right? Get 3 days like this, like we had back in the middle of December 13th, 14th, and 15th, where we go basically from the level we are now back down to 390, and it'll change your perception, right? It'll change your perception of what you are expecting out of the stock market then. You go from everybody's on FOMO and buy the dip and then, get back down to 390 in 3 days, and it's like, oh, what the hell just happened? Bitcoin, despite regulation talks, keeps going higher. Yeah, it's kind of funny, man. This thing popped really strong yesterday. I saw this late last night, and when I looked at this yesterday, it was like right here around the 23,000 level, and then saw last night that it got up to I mean, it took out these highs obviously, and I'm just like, what the hell? I mean, it's just crazy. And it's just crazy how some of these moves, especially in crypto, like to me in crypto world, like it's still not ready. It's still not ready to be prime time. It's just, I mean, these moves are crazy. It's just you still see these moves in unmature markets. It's the only places you see these kinds of moves. It's just nuts. Oh yeah, it did check into the 10 and 20 on a weekly, so it made sense. It got pushed up a little bit. Just looking at a weekly pattern here, weekly pattern here of an Elliott wave. So you got a bottom here, nice little 1, 2, 3, 4, probably setting in the 5. So maybe it tops out next week. Maybe it tops out next week, but that seems like we're getting into the 5 area, and it kind of makes sense. You get the higher volume here in the 3 wave, the 2 wave and the 4 wave can't look the same. They don't look the same, really at all. 2 is a little bit more flat rounded. The 4 is a little bit more of a pullback. Yeah, I mean, I think Bitcoin might be on its last little push here. Oh, did it snag these highs? Did it snag those highs? It did. It did snag those August highs. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah, I would be very cautious about being long Bitcoin right here. I mean, it basically came right into this low. This low was 25,401. We hit a high of, hold on, was that right? Yeah, low 25,401. High of 25,270. 401, 270. Okay, so we missed it by about 130 points. Really tagging this low from May. Back from May. But yeah, definitely snagged that high from August. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah. I mean, look at the volume that you had right there, snagging that high earlier this morning. I mean, that's a lot of volume that came in there. I don't know how to play Bitcoin bearish, but I could say it's not a not a it's not the worst idea to be very small position, maybe bearish there. Gold 2.0. I have an issue with Bitcoin being called Gold 2.0. I like the idea of a cryptocurrency. The problem is with cryptocurrencies is they're so top heavy, and by top heavy I mean the whales own them, the big dogs own them, and it's not like a diversified currency. And a big reason why that happens is they make up the currencies and they control however much they can. I don't know. I'm just not a fan of of I like cryptocurrency. I don't like how they're kind of done currently. I don't know. It's so hard to describe. I like the ease of access. I like the ease of transaction. There's no foreign exchange. It's just like you go anywhere, you use it. It's secure. The idea of it's more secure than fiat currency. Fiat currency is very insecure. So it's diet. You are well, dude. We're not talking about food, bud. I bought 50 3 years ago, and so inside a month, I'm out of crypto. New asset class. Separate Bitcoin from others, please. Yeah. Are you talking about separate Bitcoin from other cryptos, or are you talking about separate Bitcoin from other currencies? See, but I think I follow what you're saying. From other cryptos, okay. Uh, yeah. See, and here's the other thing is, I'm not much of a fan of. I'm not a fan of Bitcoin. That's the other thing. The one I like Ethereum. I like Ethereum more. Ethereum has much more utility, in my eyes, than Bitcoin. So that's just kind of where I'm at on it. Uh, I mean, the either both sides, whichever way you go, both sides are continuing to make improvements. There's a lot of fraudulent stuff out there, and that's kind of why I haven't been involved in crypto for several years. I mean, it's been basically back since like this run up here on Ethereum. Yeah, because it was basically right here that I remember that winter of 2017. I was at the I was at a ski lodge, and I was like, yeah, dude, I'm just closing out of this crap. It was crazy. I was like, I just can't. I'm not being bothered by this anymore. But I like the idea because I like the people can't control it. The idea I like the idea of people can't control it. It can't be replicated. It's for its ease of use. Going across the world and all that. Um, Governments can't just print more of it. The only way to combat your holding fiat currency is to literally not hold it. You cannot hold it because governments try to devalue it so that they can, support the economy or, pay for a new bridge project or, Air Force or whatever. So it's just one of those things. It's like crypto probably will continue to go up over the long run because once the governments get back into printing more money, there's just nowhere else for crypto to go but up. I just don't think it'll go up at the pace it has been going up over the previous years. But I watched the crypto scene for LOLs. CoffeeZilla gives the scammers exposed. Yeah, I some of those people, dude, they are really good at calling out the bullshit. They are really good at it. Did we make a new high on the day? We got close. Man, we got really close. High 412.89. Yeah, we did by a penny. Did by a penny. Yeah, I like crypto. It's so scammy right now. It's so scammy. Or not actually. I don't even say right now. A few years ago, it was super scammy. I'm sure there still is a lot of that going on, but it's not nearly as prevalent as what it was. It was like every new coin that was coming out was a scam. Even there was even coins that were literally saying, "Hey, this is a scam," and they would raise like millions. It's like, what the heck? IWM up pretty good today, huh? Go check out the sector rotation, see what's kind of going on across sectors. Siba, what do you own crypto? Do you own it like long term, or do you just kind of trade it? I'm just curious. XLU is down 0.4% today. Nice little gap down, trade lower. Got bought up a little bit. Okay. Tech is down 0.4%. Nice little compression going on here in tech. Nice little compression. XLRE. It's early, but I like the prospects of going forward, more institutional adoption than any other times before. Yeah. Yep. They have to. They have to. It's like we gotta find some ways to keep. I mean, they're not going to have huge portfolios in this stuff because they still don't know how it's going to work out. But they have to. It's like you gotta have some exposure to it. Mostly because they don't want to get caught off guard. They don't want to be the ones left out if it winds up performing. if it winds up being that next thing, right? Real estate down 0.2%. Materials gap down basically flat. Industrials gap down, got bought up. They're basically down a third today. Healthcare, nice gap down on healthcare. Currently down about 0.2%. Yeah, I mean, you're just seeing everything gap down today and it all get bought up. Financials down 0.4%. Energy's pretty flat, not as major of a gap down today. But this sets up really kind of bearish here. You had a pretty good lower wick today. Bought back up. Nice little gap down today, checking right into the moving averages. Possibility of a breakdown tomorrow, moving down to this 100 moving average. I can see that happening tomorrow or Monday. XLY discretionaries down 0.5%. Nice gap down today. Yeah, nice gap down today on discretionaries. Staples gap down 0.2%. XLC communications down 0.4%. All right. So now that I did all that, some of these look like they had a lot larger of a gap down. I'm going to check something. Check the intraday kind of performance here on the sector stuff. Because some of these from the open got bought up a lot stronger. Real estate got bought up. Materials, XLC, XLY, XLK got bought up pretty good. Okay. I was thinking I would have saw Staples up there, but Staples is definitely on the underperformer side. They look like they were actually bought up pretty good. Let me, from yesterday's kind of close. Come on. From yesterday's kind of close. So from yesterday's close, though, you are seeing tech and discretionary kind of down. A lot of that's from the gap down, though. A lot of that's from the gap down. You got utilities doing pretty good. Or also down there, though. On the top side, you got materials, energy, and healthcare. Staples up there. Yeah, I didn't think I would see XLC, XLY, XLK up there on the top side. On as far as like the better performers from the open, man, it just didn't look like they were doing that well. As I was scrolling through. XLY, XLP, XLY, XLP. How are you doing? XLY, XLP looks like it's going to go take out this high from Feb 2nd. Eventually, this also has set up a very nice 1, 2, 3 Elliott wave. 2, very nice 3 here. Very weird choppy 4, but that was probably the 4. I doubt it takes this low out before it takes out this high on 3. Yeah. Looks pretty good. Not to say that we don't see probably a pullback on the market. Ooh, small caps and mid caps are outperforming just about everything else. So it's an IWM day, right? IWM was up earlier. Yeah, IWM's pretty much flat. So it's just a purely small cap and mid cap day. So there's a lot of people getting out of the larger stocks. Is basically what's that saying. Which kind of makes sense. We're seeing some bearishness here on a lot of the technology stuff. Even though Apple and Cisco are doing all right. Okay. Any good news out there? Saw this. Someone, I guess, on the Fed panel, or one of the Fed presidents, was making a case for 50 basis point increase last rate hike at last meetings, and so that's kind of interesting. And Are they going to make a case for a 50 basis point increase coming up? I don't. I mean, wow. Yeah, that's interesting to hear that. Yeah, I mean that's gonna be I'm kind of curious when we get the minutes. When do we get the minutes? Is it anytime soon? FOMC minutes Friday, not Friday, February 2nd. So it is going to be this next Wednesday. This next Wednesday, we're going to get the minutes. Be curious to see how much maybe there was discussion about raising rates 50 basis points over the 25. So obviously we'll probably get a little bit more insight into that Wednesday. Yeah, that's. Oh, let me check this out. TSM. Yeah, I think I think I'm gonna try and be bearish on TSM too. If we get a pretty decent pop here sometime over the next week or two, if we get a decent pop, I'm gonna try and be bearish on that. I really like the idea of trying to be bearish on it back over here, and it worked out. I think it was like on this day, I took those profits, but I like the idea of being bearish here. It's been on a pretty strong run. Warren Buffett, and that's one of the reasons why it had a pretty strong move down yesterday. Warren Buffett closed his stake out in TSM. So probably continue to see some more bearish side. So I'm going to be looking for that on TSM. How are a lot of the other semiconductor? Dude, Intel has just gotten super flat here recently. I mean, that's almost like that's a weekly like pennant pattern setting up. I could see this thing roll over, try to make a run down to this low on breaking this pennant pattern, not break this October low, and then it just gets bought up. And then that's probably the low on Intel. I mean, Intel is just getting super flat in here. I mean, it's getting super compressed on this 28 level. Died, are you still? Oh, Angry Sushi. I didn't even see your message. The CFTC just has jurisdiction over crypto, so it's essentially a commodity like corn oil, gold. Yeah, I'm not gonna say essentially. But yeah, I do know. It's is it? I don't even know if they're. I don't even know if they know what to do with crypto. It's such a different. It's because it's a non-physical good. Every all the other commodities they're physical goods. That's why it's so weird. Like I don't know. I'm optimistic about chipmaker. Oh yeah, absolutely. I I love chipmaker. Anytime you can get chip makers on a pullback, I love chip makers on any pullback. I thought Nvidia would go lower. I wound up stopping around the 115 area, but I thought they would go lower. But yeah, I love chip maker. You can't do anything with technology, and all these people that have bright ideas about doing this and doing that, they can't do anything about semiconductors. I love chips. It is like the best drug to have. Best drug to have in your arsenal. Everybody has to come to you. Everybody. Nvidia might get snatched up by one of the bigger players. Ooh, ooh, I like it. What do you got? What do you mean? There's no way Nvidia, by the way, would agree to M&A activity. I just don't see that happening. Um, AMD, I could see happening. AMD is just smaller, and they do have a lot of that. They do have a lot of great technology. AMD, I could see happening. I don't see that happening with Nvidia. Nvidia's just already gotten too big. Nvidia's just too big. I mean, just look at look at the heat map. Like they're too big. They're bigger than Intel. Yeah, I mean they're bigger than all of them. TSM actually. Let's look at TSM. How big is TSM? TSM market cap. So TSM is at roughly 450 billion. Nvidia's at market cap of 550. Yeah. Yeah. So, strategic merger. Interesting. I know there's been rumors for like half a decade, maybe even longer, that Microsoft was gonna buy like AMD or Nvidia or Intel or one of those to help support, or that way they can control chip supply into their Surface devices. And then they could also use that with their Xbox gaming area. So, I but the other part I'm going to hit back on that is we are seeing so much anti-tech M&A from regulators across the world. They are hitting back at like any time a big tech company tries to buy another, they're now like hitting back on them. Like Meta tried to buy like $100 million app, gaming app company here, like I don't know, a couple months ago, and the FTC like taking like suing them to block it. And their justification for why they were trying to do that is because Meta owns so much of that space. They don't want them buying more into that space. But it was just one of those things, like they are now full on like preventing big tech from buying things. And they should have been doing that a long time ago. In my eyes, they should have been doing that a long time ago. But they let them get way too big. My perspective, just my perspective. Way too big, way too powerful. Um, I mean, I could see some strategic partnerships, maybe some M&A type stuff, but it won't be the big ones. They are watched too closely. They're watched too closely now. I'm trying to think. Maybe what would be some good M&A stuff, and it's just can't think of any. And if you're Nvidia, I'm just trying to think like on Nvidia's side, Siba. Dude, I'm like, who would they buy? Who would they buy? And I can't think. Maybe oh shoot, is trying to think of suppliers. Maybe if they go like vertical integration, go get some suppliers of components that they need to make chips. Might be a way to go. Might be a good merchant. It's man. Nope. No, I do not. That's a great question though. I say no, but the other aspect of Taiwan Semiconductor possibly moving their headquarters to the U.S. The reason why I say no is it's Taiwan Semiconductor. Part of me then also says it depends on how much of a real threat China is. So that's a risk that they would have to weigh. Obviously, not looking super peaceful right now, but um, yeah. not. I don't know. I don't know how that would. I don't think so. Typically, companies don't move headquarters across international boundaries all that often or all that easily, really either. And I mean, what's a headquarters? You could have like your headquarters in the United States. They could have a headquarters in the United States and just call it their U.S. headquarters. But it doesn't mean like that's their actual headquarters. But it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to maybe even do something like that. That way, if the big bad wolf came across the ocean, then yeah, it's not like your entire company is destroyed. I think they will continue to move, diversify where they have production facilities. I do think they'll continue to do that, like they have already started. Um, so yeah, I don't- yeah, that's the and we've even seen reports that I think China is like very interested in just taking over Taiwan just for the semiconductor production capabilities that they have. So just crazy, just crazy. All right, let's just take a look back, see what the SPY is doing. Man, SPY, man, just people just buy the dip, just nonchalant every day until they wake up one day and the buy the dippers are all out of money. So there's not really much to do. We're still just trading in this range. I'm not looking for anything crazy. Still looking for us to get back over 420. If we do that, I'll probably start to look more bearish. But if we do snap down below the 405 level, maybe we start make the move back down there. Maybe tomorrow, maybe we get back below 407 or so, and then maybe Monday get back down to like 404 or something. I'd be interested in that kind of bullishness back up to the 420 if we wind up doing that. I would love to see that. I'd be game for that possible setup. That'd be the dip I would buy, is if we took out this low from February 10th. Oh, the market's closed on Monday. What? I never pay attention to holidays, but you are absolutely right. What is Monday? It's not an MLK day. What's Monday? Oh, President's Day. Ugh, who cares, man? Presidents were about making money. Let's make some money. All right, well, fine. I guess we're close for President's Day. I totally forgot about President's Day. Ugh, yeah, funny. President's Day. All right. Yeah, I'm still just waiting. We've just been in this range for about 2 weeks now, so just still waiting. Still just waiting. So we'll see what happens. Tomorrow's going to be the day that we're either going to start to push out or we're going to probably come back down, and we'll probably continue whichever way early next week on Tuesday. Yeah, on Tuesday, not Monday. Alpha Hunters, take care. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will chat with you guys tomorrow. Take care, Alpha Hunters.